The sound of metal grinding against concrete still echoes in my head. Ugly, sharp, the kind of noise that makes your teeth hurt. That was the moment everything snapped, the exact second karma stopped being polite and started making a scene. And if you want to know how a brand new emerald green Porsche ended up crumpled halfway across my fence line, well, let's back up about 3 weeks, back to when I still thought civility could fix stupidity. It started on a Monday morning, as unremarkable as any other in my cookie-cutter suburb, where all the lawns look the same and everyone pretends to get along at block parties. I was backing my car out, one hand on my coffee, half awake, when I saw it. A gleaming Porsche, lime green, parked at just the right angle to block half my exit. I hit the brakes, cursed under my breath, and realized I had maybe an inch or two to squeeze by. I honked. Once, twice, nothing. Just the sun bouncing off that perfect paint like it was mocking me. Managed to squeeze out, clipped my mirror on the trash bin, but told myself it was a fluke, maybe a guest, maybe a one-off. Except it wasn't. Next day, same Porsche. Day after that. There it was again and again. By Friday, it was part of my morning ritual. Mutter, maneuver, drive away, already angry. But that Friday, I decided to wait. I wanted to see who had the nerve to treat my driveway like their personal parking space. At 8:20, I hear keys. I turn, and out comes this kid, couldn't have been 20. Designer jacket, fresh sneakers, phone in one hand, iced coffee in the other, attitude practically dripping off him. He sees me, and I force a smile. Hey, you've been blocking my driveway. Makes it hard to get out. He drops his sunglasses just enough to lock eyes. Relax, man. I'm only here a few minutes. Don't be so uptight. Then he smirks, climbs in, and revs the engine like I'd insulted his honor. I watch him leave, the bass from his speakers rattling my mailbox. That's entitlement, Olympic level. Later, I tried the diplomatic route, talked to his mother. Linda. Everyone knows Linda. HOA president, though president is generous. Dictator is more her vibe. She's out watering her flowers, never looking up as I explain her son's parking habits. Oh, that's Tyler. He's home for summer. He'll move it. She sighs, like I'm the problem. Maybe try leaving a little earlier if it's so big a deal. No apology, not even an ounce of concern. I swallow my frustration because arguing with someone who lives for it is a fool's game. Next morning, it's worse. Porsche isn't just near my driveway, it's in it, wheels across my property line, blocking me completely. I take photos, lots of them, hands shaking, then wait. Tyler comes out, phone glued to his ear, laughing. Morning, he says, like we're old buddies. Don't tell me you need to get out again right now. That's what driveways are for, I answer. Voice flat. He just rolls his eyes. Call the cops, see how far that gets you. He peels out, gravel flying. I'm so mad I can barely hold my coffee. Across the street, Linda stands on her porch. Arms crossed, half smiling. Don't get so worked up, she calls out. You'll give yourself a stroke. That kind of disrespect just eats at you. But that night, instead of sulking, I get smart. Google HOA parking rules, city ordinances, anything I can use. And there it is. City code says any car blocking a driveway can be towed. No warning needed. For the first time in days, I feel steady. Next few mornings, I document everything. Photos, videos, timestamps. Tyler parks like clockwork. Linda's curtains twitch every time I step outside. They're watching me. Sure, I'll give up. But I don't. I install a motion camera in my garage window, start building a file. Every time the Porsche blocks me, I add to the pile. After a week, I finally call a tow truck. The guy on the phone just whistles when I mention the car. You sure? He asks. Oh, I'm sure. When the truck comes, it's almost anticlimactic. Chains, clanking, Porsche lifted, gone in minutes. The street feels quiet for the first time in weeks. Linda's at my door an hour later, voice at full volume. Did you have my son's car towed? City enforcement, I say. Blocking a driveway is illegal. She's livid, swears I'll regret it, storms away cursing. But by the next day, Porsche is back, Tyler filming me, posting to TikTok, neighbors snickering. Suddenly, I get 3 HOA violations, porch light 2. Bright, recycling bin out of place, parked too close to the curb. All signed by Linda. I file them away, keep gathering evidence. Then one day, I find a fresh key scratched down my car, deep, angry. Expensive. I want to scream, but instead I dig deeper into HOA bylaws. That's when I spot Section 8.4. Unregistered vehicle mods void HOA protection in the event of damage or impound. Turns out Tyler's custom exhaust isn't even legal. His Porsche isn't properly registered. A plan forms, slow and mean. This time, when I call the tow company, I give my name. The operator laughs. That fancy Porsche again. Yep, and I want it gone for good. I file everything legal, no tricks. Next time Tyler parks, the tow is private, ironclad. Saturday, block party day, Linda is queen of the parade, and Tyler parks right across my driveway again, all swagger, showing off. I wait for the right moment, then step outside, calm as ever. Tyler tries to clown me in front of the neighbors, but I just make a quick call. The tow truck rolls in, yellow and loud. Heads turn, music cuts off. Linda loses it, shouting about property rights. You can't tow that, it's private property. The driver just points at the ordinance. We have authorization. For a second, nobody breathes. Tyler's bravado evaporates as his car is hooked up. He yells, threatens to call his lawyer. The driver shrugs, call whoever you want, kid, this is legal. And then, karma finally bites. The custom suspension collapses as the car is lifted, and the Porsche slams down with a crunch that silences the whole street. Hood bent, glass cracked, metal shrieking. Linda screams about destruction of property. The tow driver points out the illegal mods, explains the insurance won't cover a thing. A cop arrives, checks the paperwork, hands Linda a citation, tells her the car's impounded and up for inspection. Tyler's pale, shaking. Linda hisses at me. You ruined us. I just look at her. No, I just stopped letting you walk over me. The block party fizzles out. Word spreads, illegal mods, insurance won't pay, car's gone. HOA sends out a notice, Linda's resigned. New reminders about parking laws. Tyler switches to a battered Honda. Linda can't look me in the eye. The next morning, for the first time, my driveway is clear. No Porsche, no drama, just peace. And as I stand there with my coffee, looking at the empty street, I realize it's not about revenge, it's about balance. About showing that sometimes, the only way to fix a broken system is to stand your ground and let the truth do the heavy lifting. Some lessons, like they say, are expensive, but man, do they stick. So what do you think? Was I out of line, or just standing up for myself? Drop your story or opinion below. Tell me where you're watching from. And let's talk about justice, neighbors, and where you draw your line that you'd think after all that. The busted Porsche, the police, the block party meltdown. Things would finally go back to normal. Maybe even get a little easier. But the funny thing about drama is, it leaves these cracks behind, like hairline fractures running through the neighborhood, just waiting for something else to widen them. The first Monday after the showdown, I woke up early, half expecting another argument, maybe a new trick up Linda's sleeve. But the world was just quiet. Tyler's Porsche was gone for good, replaced by his beat-up Honda parked a full block away, nowhere near my driveway. That first morning, I stood in the middle of my own concrete, coffee steaming in my hand, almost not trusting it. I walked out to get the paper, and for the first time in weeks, nobody glared, nobody whispered. The air felt lighter. But in a place like this, you know, silence is rarely just silence. It's a kind of truce. For a few days, neighbors went out of their way not to make eye contact. Some folks walked their dogs on the other side of the street. I'd get these little half nods, awkward waves, but the tight circles and friendly gossip? Gone. I guess when you go toe-to-toe with the queen bee of the HOA, folks get nervous about whose side they're standing on. The real shift came about a week later. That's when something odd started happening. Little signs taped to mailboxes, random notes on the neighborhood app. Remember, parking matters. Respect your neighbor's space. It was almost funny, watching Linda's old supporters scramble to act like they'd never been part of the problem. The same people who used to post about community spirit now talked about fairness and boundaries, as if the last month hadn't happened. One afternoon, as I was mowing my lawn, old Mr. Simmons, guy who's lived here since the 70s, walked over. He leaned in, voice low, said, "Saw what you did last weekend. Took guts. Not everyone's brave enough to stand up to her, you know." He gave me this half smile, like we were in on some secret. It felt good, not gonna lie. For a second, I wondered if I'd actually earned a little respect, or maybe just became the cautionary tale. And then came the twist I didn't see coming. Couple days later, there's a knock at my door. I open it to see a young woman, maybe college age, standing there with a nervous smile and a clipboard. "Hi, I'm Emily. I'm helping organize a petition to reform the HOA bylaws. You probably don't remember me, but you talked to my mom at the last meeting. She said you know your stuff when it comes to rules." I had to laugh. Me? The guy the HOA tried to railroad, now being asked to help fix the thing that nearly ran me over. But Emily was persistent, talking about how folks were tired of the drama, the power plays, and how things had to change. So I signed, and then I shared what I'd learned about keeping records, about city ordinances, about not backing down just because someone wears a nicer blazer or talks louder than you. A few more neighbors started stopping by. Some wanted advice, others just wanted to vent. One woman even asked if I'd speak at the next HOA meeting. Not as the guy who called the tow truck, she said, but as someone who finally stood up. I didn't say yes, not right away. But it was the first time in a long time that I felt like maybe all that trouble had actually meant something. Linda, though, never spoke to me again. I'd see her sometimes in her garden, face pinched, eyes glued to the ground. Tyler, too, never did say sorry. He'd cruise past in his Honda, windows down, music off, trying not to make a sound. And you know what? I was okay with that. Some folks learn by listening, others by losing. I guess that's just how the world spins. A couple months later, at the next block party, things were different. There was no Porsche, no speeches from Linda. The new HOA president, a quiet woman named Dana, handed out ice cream and said she hoped everyone would work together and respect each other's boundaries. Nobody cheered, but nobody jeered either. It was just, well, peaceful. That night, I sat on my porch, feet up, listening to the sounds of laughter drifting over the fence. The air smelled like grilled corn and cut grass. I thought about how fast things can turn. A single act of stubbornness can spiral into war, or, if you're lucky, change the way folks see each other. Maybe it doesn't fix everything. Maybe there's always going to be a Linda lurking somewhere, ready to push back the second you let your guard down. But at least for now, the street was calm, the driveway was mine, and I could breathe. And here's the thing, justice isn't about winning some big dramatic showdown. It's the little moments after. The way you carry yourself, the way you help the next person who gets pushed around. So if you're listening to this, maybe you've been the quiet one, or the angry one, or the person just tired of being ignored. Don't wait for permission to stand up. Sometimes all it takes is one person who's had enough. So, what about you? Where do you draw your line? Have you ever taken on a bully and won? Or lost? Or maybe learned something in the process? Drop your story below. Let me know where you're listening from. And let's talk about real justice. Not just in the big moments, but in all the small ones that come after.